Good morning. I'm very pleased with myself this morning. I remembered to brush my hair before I did the little recording for Thursday. And yeah, lots on the calendar today. I'm thinking about harvest. Next Sunday, we are going to have an online harvest festival. It's going to look a little bit different. These things have to when they're online, but I'm going to try and be a bit creative, and there's going to be something a little bit different in the sermon slot. But I've begun to look at readings for harvest, and I couldn't help but fix on one that, gosh, it's a little bit of the Old Testament. It's in the book of Leviticus, so very, very early in the Bible. And listen to this. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap to the very edges of your field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the alien. I am the Lord your God. Now, I believe Leviticus was talking about harvest, as in crops, but I immediately read that and was transported to every corner of my life, and which bits of it I kind of grab in for myself and aren't willing to share or be generous about, and what I've got in my life that I am willing. And do you know, one of the things I've always really laughed at, this is terrible, well, yeah, it's a little confession, since I was tiny, I've always laughed that when you go into the shop and it's £2.99, and in the days when we used cash, so often people say, oh, put the change in the charity box, a penny. It would probably be a penny. I thought, well, that's a bit tight, really, isn't it? Give them a £5 note and put £2 and a penny in. And actually, that penny is nothing. But if 100 people did it, it was a pound. And if every single person did it over a week, that might be £7, £8, £10 in a small supermarket. And those pennies are beginning to add up, aren't they? And they don't cost the giver anything at all. But little by little by little, which is that phrase that my dad always taught me, that look after the pennies and the pounds will take care of themselves. Anyway, back to the reading in Leviticus, and those things that I'm not generous about, and those things that I won't let go of, and those moments where I'm very happy to share what I have. And I've reflected, and I'm mindful that I could probably stand to be a little bit more generous and be a little bit more thoughtful. And the food bank is struggling and always in need. They actually need cash most at the moment, believe it or not. They've got some fairly good stocks on the shelves, but it's buying the milk and the bread on a daily or a weekly basis to top up things that they don't like us to donate as practical items, and having the cash to buy the other extraordinary essentials that specific families might need. And all of that is a very long-winded way to say that I am going to endeavour to be a little more generous. Time is tight, but that doesn't mean that I have to be tight with everything. And the idea that I might not gather every sheaf, and that I might leave some for the poor, to use the words of Leviticus, which actually are not the words I would choose to use, but that idea that I might pick up, 4 things of pasta for our big family, and actually pick up 5 and put the 5th one into the food bank box. Or that idea that I might buy myself a coffee, and the man outside Greg's might like a coffee too. Yeah, a little bit more generosity. And if we all did just a little bit more, that would be a whole lot more, wouldn't it? It isn't one person's job to save the problems of the world and sort them all out, but it is everybody's job to do their little bit. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just looking at the words of Leviticus again. I'm not going to gather all the gleanings of my harvest. No, I'm going to share some of them and see where that takes me. aside from that, I'm going to continue planning Harvest Festival today, and a few other jobs that you all know are on my horizon. And then tomorrow we pack up child number 4, ready to take him to university. Strange times indeed. And perhaps I'll tell you a little bit more about that another day. Don't want me weeping all over the camera today, do you? And I wouldn't flatter him that I want to cry and weep about him leaving, and don't tell him I said this. Hey, have a good day. Have a think about what you glean and harvest and what you might be willing to share from that. And let me know. Everybody needs to do their little bit. Hey, I shall talk to you again soon. Lots of love and God bless. Bye bye.